on the channel, what is old is new again with a little throwback with the Mattel Creations exclusive WWE Mattel Retro 4-pack.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another WWE Mattel Retro unboxing and review. And today on the channel from Mattel Creations, we got the latest and greatest WWE Mattel Retro set. But for all your non-Mattel Creation needs, make sure you're hitting up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% over there at old Ringside. Got to get a deal. But of course, like I said, Mattel Creations have these right now. They are for sale right now for Mattel Creations. Go over there. You can pick up this set. And something beautiful that Mattel did this go around here is we ordered them, and guess what? They shipped immediately. I think we ordered them on Tuesday, and I received mine, I think it was Friday morning. So some people even got them on Thursday, depending where you do live. That is something really cool, something very awesome. I hope that is the wave of the future for some of this Mattel Creation stuff. Let's just let it live there. Let it breathe on the website for a while. It doesn't have to sell out right away. That's not always a good thing if things sell out right away. That means they didn't make enough. Let's make a little bit more. Have them there on the site for everybody for 3 months or so. What is time, as we do say. Give everybody a fair chance at these and have them ship right away. I absolutely love that idea. Love what they did right here. Will be interesting. We know the Coliseum collection, the Ultimates, of course. I think it's the end of September, maybe early October, something like that for Roddy Piper, George Animal Steel. Would love to see the kind of same thing going on there. We order it, it ships the same week. Man, that would be really fun. That's some excitement there. Mattel's a big enough company, they can do stuff like that. We've talked about it on the channel. There's a lot of pre-order burnout from collectors out there and people that don't collect, that just play with them. We're sick of buying something and then it not coming for a year or so. So the quicker those things can speed up, man, I think we're all for it, of course. But of course, as well, we're going to do this unboxing like we do all the other unboxings on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And I love that they give us these little shipper boxes. I think these are really, really cool. I love these. You can obviously store the packaging back in here, or if you throw the packaging away, you can use this for storage. You can put your baggies of hands, things like that in here. I know that recent Undertaker Gobbledygooker Ultimate Edition 2-pack, I'm using that. I'm throwing all my Ultimate Edition baggies of hands, things like that, in that empty box. It's a great storage thing, but it's also a display thing. It's one of those things you can put it on a display, and it's like, oh, that's a cool thing, and then lo and behold, inside there's all your Ultimate Edition hands. And you do another one, like maybe it's that Usos Bloodline pack. You put all your Elite hands and things in there. So very cool stuff like that, and you can do the same thing with this box. Love the packaging on this. Classic WWF logo, kinda, sorta, you know what I mean there. Got all 4 characters in this one. We got Undertaker, Big Van Vader, Jerry the King Lawler, and Paul Bearer. Lawler feels kind of the odd man out in some ways here because the Undertaker, Paul Bearer, obviously like peanut butter and jelly, just go together. Of course, Vader feuded with the Undertaker. Would have been really cool to get another rendition of another foe or friend of the Undertaker instead of Lawler. Lawler's an all-time favorite of mine, so I love getting him in here. But it would have been cool to kind of make this, you're already almost there, make it an Undertaker set, you know, throw, I don't know who, somebody else in there, I don't know who, maybe it's another Kane, maybe, I don't know, whoever you can think of, Sid Justice, a brand new updated Sid. I mean, there's a lot of characters you could throw in there, but I guess at the end of the day, I'd rather have a Jerry Lawler than a repeat character, so it just kind of depends. But I think they had an opportunity here to do an Undertaker pack, and Lawler just kind of feels like the odd man out in a little bit, at least a little bit for me. There they are on the side once again, and then you get them on the side over here, so you can choose how you display this box. You can put it like this, you can put it like this, you can put it like this, you can put it kind of like this, you can kind of like lean it, and you could spin it maybe. I don't know, but you could display it however you want, choose your own display adventure. And then on the back, very old school there is that old retro ring. I gotta think they're gonna re-release that one of these days, maybe throw it up on Mattel Creations. because I think a lot of people are looking for that ring now. So if you have one, you might want to sell it. You might be able to make a lot of money right now before it does get re-released. I feel like it's just inevitable one of these days. But there's the back, cross-sell, all that fun stuff. Off to the races. See you later. And now we got our sets right here. We're just going to dive on in. We're going to start off with Paul Bearer. Very cool to get a manager in the line, the old school Hasbro retro feeling line. Never really managers in that line, as we do know. I used Teddy DiBiase Series 1 after we got the green-suited Teddy DiBiase, which I did prefer. I used the Series 1 as sometimes he was a referee, but a lot of times I used him as a manager, and that's what I did. And now we actually got a real manager, of course, in Paul Bearer, and this looks really, really nice. I like how this looks here. You got Paul Bearer looking all classic, of course. You got the WWE logo. Little circle there talking about his finisher. We'll talk about that in a second. Then, of course, you get the figure. What's it say? Real superstar action with the cremation crush. Oh, my gosh. Crushing people with cremation. You do get the urn as an accessory. I'm here for that. Then on the back, you get the cross-sell, of course. You get a little blurb down here for Paul Bearer. You get UPCs. You get some jibber-jabber. Let's see what it says about our friend Paul Bearer. Pull back the arms. Cremate opponents with the urn. Paul Bearer. As keeper of the urn, Paul Bearer is also guardian of Undertaker's power. There you go. You know, they could have made Brother Love. I think Brother Love would have worked in this set. I mean, maybe people would say, oh, that's too much. I don't want a manager and an announcer, interviewer, maybe. I don't know. But I would have liked Brother Love in here. I think that would have worked for The Undertaker. But we're going to pop this all out. Maybe there's the urn. Got all that out. Now, this is a little turn of events here. We've seen this before, of course, with the Ringside Collectible NWO 2-packs. Took me a while to get there. But we do get the removable packaging here, so you can keep everything together if you want to. Very, very cool. Everything slides back in the plastic. I really do like that. That's great for collectors. You can put it in, put it out. One thing, though, I guess you'll never know if it's truly mint on card because somebody could easily put this back in and say, oh, it's never been removed. And there's really no way of telling unless you're outside of the, of course, big shipper box there. But we put a gentle off to the side. See you later for Paul Bearer. Now we're going to dive in to Paul Bearer. We do get a new urn here, a very flashy urn. Looks good. It's got kind of the divots on the side there, the top as well. Pretty plain Jane. It does say China 2 on the bottom. Always a fan of China 1. Not sure about this China 2 business, but so far it seems to be holding up, I guess. So we're like that. Then we get Paul Bearer looking interesting. He's got kind of that Mean Gene body mold, I guess. And then you do get the retro style action. Now that's one thing. There's a lot of companies making retros right now. Nobody but Mattel is making us with the action features. And that is very important, but honestly, adult collectors, you probably don't need this. And even as a kid, I didn't really use the action features too much. But it is a cool nostalgic nod to the past, so I'm definitely here for that. Big gripping hand here. Let's see, can he fit? Oh, yeah, that urn fits right in there, man. I'm here for that all day long. Big open hand over here on the other side. Big old Paul Bearer face all day long. You know that's Paul Bearer, and I'll never forget the first time I saw Paul Bearer, I'm like, I can't believe Percy Pringle dyed his blonde hair. Little did I know is that was his natural blonde hair when I was a little kid. But as a kid watching USWA and stuff on ESPN, you knew all about Percy Pringle. You knew all about Eric Embry. I was always invested in that as a very little kid. I've talked about that before. So Paul Bearer was very strange for me. I was like, what is going on here? And of course, The Undertaker, I've talked about Mean Mark and stuff. It was just very weird for little Kyle around that time. But Paul Bearer, definitely interesting in the Paul Bearer character, no doubt about it. Black hair on it, got a mustache you could set your watch to. I mean, every time you see Paul Bearer, you can just hear that voice, of course, in your head. He's like a young Johnny Cash in all black here. He's got the red tie going on. Definitely a good depiction of Paul Bearer. The cool thing is you can put this with your old versions of The Undertaker as well. And I got some Undertakers here. You got the old Hasbro Undertakers. Two of the three, of course, I do not own the mail-away Hasbro Undertaker. That is a grail item. Hopefully one of these days. It's the only one I'm missing. I really should pull the trigger on it. Hopefully one day I do get that one. But you could easily put this Paul Bearer with these ones if you wanted to. In your collection. So I think that is pretty fun. I love that we got a Paul Bearer here. I'm definitely here for this. So there you go. Paul Bearer in the retro line. And I guess we did Paul Bearer. Might as well do the Undertaker next, huh? Now this one feels like we've been there before, like a young Iron Maiden deja vu, of course. with the Undertaker in the mask. And I remember people thinking, it's a different Undertaker, it's not the real Undertaker. Then, of course, we had the fake Undertaker many years later. But much like the Ultimate Warrior, people thought, you know, the Undertaker died and he was replaced, all that fun stuff. Oh, he's got bigger tattoos now, you know. The old playground, the place for gossip on your wrestling back in the day was the playground. We've all been there. WWE logo, glamour shot for the Taker. You got the little bubble over there. We'll see what his finisher is. Then, of course, Undertaker in the package. What's it say here? Real superstar action. The old dead man drop. Oh, watch out. That's a far drop. You don't want to do that. We got the cross sell. We got the blurb. All that fun. Let's see what it says about the Undertaker. A masked Undertaker returned to reclaim the source of his power, the urn. And somebody can fact check this if they want, but a lot of rumors were swirling on the playground back in the day that the Undertaker added a mask to his look, trying to win the fandom of one young Kyle Peterson. That's true. I've heard that. I've heard that before. They said, well, Kyle likes face paint. He likes masks. And the Undertaker said, well, maybe I'll throw a mask on. And it didn't work out for him. Didn't work out. I wasn't the biggest fan. I respect the Undertaker. He's just not one of my guys. Just not one of my guys for whatever reason. But he tried. He tried. Somebody, once again, can fact check that. Put that off to the side, and we're going to dive into the old Undertaker here. And like I said, a lot of deja vu going on. I guess I'll grab it right now. This was the Mattel Retro release of The Undertaker when they did come back to the line there. So similar but different. Same body, same everything. This one a little bit more tan. This one a little bit more white. Different color purples. Same color black. Looks to be the exact same hair. Looks to be the exact same face. Goatee, I should say. But where you get a little different is you get a mask on this one, a hat on this one. So points of differences, I guess, is what it is. But we've had some Undertakers, as we see right there. And now we got another one going on. Of course, articulation just up and down. I didn't really do Paul Bearer's articulation, but there's no movement at the legs. Same with Taker. We do get waist articulation on both of them. Arms back and forth, that's it. And then head back and forth. Kind of is what it is. But we do get the two ties for the Undertaker, the two pieces of the tie there. Just kind of plain Jane, but you know it's Undertaker all day long. There's no confusing this for somebody else. Love the mask, the old Phantom of the Undertaker. Got the all white eyes going on. Mask is not removable, anything like that, but it is the Undertaker at the end of the day. So we're building out the Undertaker army. The Dead Man's Army is what we got going on there. Now we're turning our attention over to some new blood in the line. Some new blood. We're jumping over to the man called Vader. It is truly Vader time. Here's old Vader, of course, during his WWF run. Man, oh man, I've talked about it before at other Vader unboxings. When I was a little kid and he first came to the NWA WCW, that big old mastodon helmet, the smoke out of there, I could not believe what I was seeing. It was such a game changer. One of those things where time standed still. I'll never forget, I was out in the middle of the country at my grandparents. They lived deep in the country, and I was watching WCW, NWA, I think it was WCW technically. I was watching it on like Saturday night, and I remember just where I am, still to this day, I remember standing in the middle of the living room just kind of freezing like, what is this? This is for me. I absolutely love this, and I loved everything wrestling. So ever since that day, Vader was the real deal for me. Always loved Vader all the way to the very end. Just one of the greatest, if not easily the greatest big man of all time. Just something special that you never saw back in the day when you saw Vader wrestle. Just hard hitting, flipping around, just absolutely next level. There's no doubt about it. WWE there. Got the Vader picture. Got the little thing on the side. We'll talk about his finisher. Then you got Vader in the package. Real superstar action. The Vaderizer. And I always talk about, too, about how Mean Mark Callis to The Undertaker, I knew exactly what that one was. But I did watch the AWA as a very little kid, and he was the baby bull in AWA. And for whatever reason, maybe I wasn't old enough. I don't know what happened there, but I did not realize that was Vader till many, many years later. So I don't know if I was just too young to kind of put two and two together. Like a couple years after Vader's debut, I understood that a little bit with Mean Mark into Undertaker. I don't know. Who knows? Just a weird thing, the memories you have out there. On the back, we get the gimmick shot. We got the cross sell. We got the blurb. We got a lot of fun. Let's see what it says about our old friend Vader back here. Vader is a brutal combination of power, size, and athleticism. So there you go. He's playing all the hits, some may say. And he's got the pullback Vader launch into a Vaderizer. And nobody wants to get Vaderized, that's for sure. It's just not good. It's not good to be Vaderized. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there. We're going to put him off to the side. A gentle see you later. I'm going to save this packaging for now at least. But it truly is Vader time, and I really do like this one. I really do. He's kind of got the Akeem kind of thing going on. If you remember back to the old Hasbros with kind of the Akeem, Andre the Giant, Dusty Rhodes, kind of that build going on with a little slam action there, a little bit of looseness in midsection so he can kind of go forward and Vaderize some people if he needs to. Got two big old fists of fury. It's truly Vader time because it says it right there on his shirt, so we know it's true. We got the black and red attack going on. Love the jockstrap mask on Vader. Always loved it when Vader had a mask on. I didn't like it when Vader was maskless. It just didn't work for me, but this one definitely does. Really, really do like the looks of this Vader, and definitely one I really do like in this line. I could just imagine if I was a kid with the Hasbros and I had a Vader at that time, man, oh man, that would be a business would have picked up so good in my Fig Fed back in the day. Would have loved to have Vader just for all the different feuds, all the different things he could have done. Would have been awesome, but never happened back then, but it can happen now. Who's to say I don't grab a ring? I go grab my Hasbros, and I get after it, and I do it the way it should have been back there in the late 80s, early 90s. Who knows? But there's old Vader. Now we turn our attention to the King of wrestling, Jerry the King Lawler, and to me, the greatest king of all time as far as wrestling goes. Nobody quite had a career like Jerry Lawler, and I do feel like he is very underrated because he didn't have to travel like a Ric Flair. He stayed in one area and put people in the seats night in, night out, just for many, many years. Jerry Lawler was a big, big deal. There was a lot of fun times. I always feel like I wish I would have grown up in Memphis in the heyday of all that kind of stuff. I, of course, got to see it later in tape trading, and I got to see like Andy Kaufman stuff. There was VHS tapes back in the day I watched, but just really did hit home for me. I just love that Memphis stuff, and it was cool to see Jerry Lawler last week on Monday Night Raw as I'm filming this. Of course, he's had like a couple of strokes, I think. All things considered, he looks pretty good for a guy that's had some medical issues in his 70s. We all remember the heart attack, stuff like that. But Jerry Lawler, one of the all-time greats in wrestling. Doesn't feel that way to a lot of people, but really when you look at the career, you look at what he's done, how he reinvented himself, and how he's been a part of wrestling at a very top level for many years. Something to be said about that, really, at the end of the day. But there he is, old Jerry the King Lawler, looking good on the side, WWE logo. Got Lawler there, and then what is his finisher going to be? The Crown Pound. Oh, I've pounded a crown or two in my time. Back in the day. That's a good time right there. On the back, there it is. You get the cross sell, the jibber jabber. Let's see what it says about Jerry Lawler. The King challenged Bret Hart to prove who is the true King of the Ring. Oh, my gosh. And we all know how that went. We'll never forget it. But let's get old Jerry the King Lawler. Another one that would have been a big deal for me in my playing days. Would have loved to have him squaring off with some of the all-timers. No doubt about it. Off to the side. See you later. Now we get old Jerry the King Lawler out of the package. It definitely looks like Jerry Lawler, but definitely looks a little almost cartoony in some ways, especially in the face. The crown does not come off. I guess I was assuming the crown came off, but I could see it back in the Hasbro days. They would have had it probably the same way as my imagination goes. Definitely one of the more iconic Jerry Lawler outfits there. The beautiful tights going on in the white with all the cool graphics on it. Always looked really good. I love the Mattel Elite version of this as well. The blue singlet, the black boots. You got the crown on the side of the boots. Got the blue wrist tape. You got the crown attached to the head, of course, Jerry Lawler's face. And then he's got the old Jake the Snake punch. Just like a old Jake the Snake Roberts. How about that? Other arm goes all the way around. Of course, waist articulation, head articulation like everybody else. I will say they all do fit on ringside collectible stands. So if you need them on a stand for whatever reason, they all have the hole in their feet and they will all fit on a stand if you need them to. That's really cool right there. So a very, very fun set. I'm here for this. I'm here for all the retros they could possibly give us. Just really fun for somebody like me of my age group. I can see how some people it doesn't do anything for them, but they didn't grow up in the height of the Hasbros possibly, because it was definitely a magical time if you were playing with your wrestling figures all those years ago. And if I had to put them in some kind of an order, you know, I'd probably put him in this order, actually. If I think back to young Kyle as Kyle's playing days, knowing I already had Undertakers before, it would be Vader, Lawler, Paul Bearer, Undertaker. Now, if I never had, this is the first Undertaker I had, Undertaker would probably pass up Paul Bearer, and maybe Jerry Lawler even, because Undertaker was a big deal and it was fun to play with, even if I wasn't the biggest fan of him. But definitely a fun set. Vader, like I said, my favorite one of this set. It would have been just a game changer in my childhood Fig Fed if that was a thing at the time. But a fun set. A fun set to kind of reminisce about and think of, yesteryear in a lot of ways and your playing days. So love these Mattel Creation exclusives. Hope they keep on coming. We do know we got another set with, what is that, Muhammad Ali, Big John Studd, Hulk Hogan, and Wendy Richter, I think is the next go-around. So we'll see what happens after that. We do got some ringside exclusives with DX as well, so we'll look forward to those along the way before the year is up, probably at, I don't know, maybe early 2024. We'll see what happens. But there it is. There's the old Creations exclusive. What are your guys' thoughts? A pickup, a pass, a long game, not sure game? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day. And then some. We've got even more content for you on Patreon, including early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, you name it, all going on over there at the old Patreon channel. And best of all, Patreon, your best way to support the channel and all the content it does bring. You can also support the channel over there at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget social media. Sir Paul64 on the X. _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram and on Threads. So for a little Mattel Retros, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.